Waiting for that to connect here. All right. So, all right, we got everything set up, ready to go here.
Awesome.
And then is it how do you what is it Rosario?
Yeah, it's Rosario, but it's Rosie for short.
Rosie? Okay. Rosie Luciano.
Yes,
Okay. All right. And then are you the founder?
I
Uh
am.
okay. All right, cool. Good deal. Good deal. All right, we'll get going here. Generally, I have a couple of mess ups and then we get then
No, you're
all
fine.
right. And welcome to a new episode of the Creative Brew, giving you insights on your creative journey. Today we have Rosie Luciano. She is the founder of New Horizon Coffee, an incredible coffee brand I actually found on social media, based out of the Dallas, Texas area. I do have a couple little coffee brands that I generally connect with in Texas and in the Dallas area, but I caught wind of this brand and sort of saw their mission, saw what they're trying to do. So I was like, I think this would be a good fit for the show. So Rosie, thank you for coming on. And like I said, you can elaborate a little bit about your story and what New Horizon is doing, specifically with this coffee brand.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, so New Horizon Coffee is a roast to order e-commerce store, and we specialize in Latin American coffee beans. That's we mostly do medium roast and dark roast. So we started back in 2020. It's mostly a hobby business. And our purpose is to also make people aware of human trafficking, especially because Texas is known as the second largest state to have human trafficking, and not a lot of people are aware of it. So it is our mission to make people aware and create some safety for people to be aware and what signs to look for. And we also donate 20% of our profits to nonprofits here in Dallas, Texas. One of them being New Life, New Friends. So that's the one that we mostly donate to. But if anyone knows of any other nonprofits that we can donate to, they're more than welcome to message us and let us know.
That's great. That's great. So, what even with the coffee brand, and everyone sort of has their, maybe like their origin story as far as how they, built things or just, you know, maybe just started with the initial idea. What was the for you? What was like the initial idea? I didn't know if you've always been in coffee or if this is
Yeah.
something like, hey, this is, something I want to do. But I didn't know when, when that point was like when you actually it's like, okay, I'm going to go full steam with this.
Yeah, so I've been like a coffee lover since high school. So my first job was at Starbucks, and I liked working there, and it was fun to make drinks at Starbucks. But after I quit my job there, um they always kept messing up my order, and it just wasn't the same anymore. And I think it was because I used to make my own coffee drinks. So I went to go visit my sister in Wisconsin. She went to college over there, and one of her friends, his family always sent him green beans. And that was the first time that I was introduced to like actual green beans, which is like the coffee. So I was interested. I was like, what is that? Like, why do they look like that? And he was like, oh, it's coffee. And I was like, wait, how do you make them? And he was like, oh, you basically, how I do it is I put it in a pan, and you kind of have to keep an eye on it and like not burn it. And so it took me, I was interested because I was like, oh, I've never done that, or I've never seen actual coffee beans. So it was interesting to get into that process. It took me about 6 months, or not 6 months, but it took me a while, like a month or two to actually perfect it. I didn't realize how hard it is to roast coffee. And so then I found a better way. I started to do my research, and I started off with a popcorn maker. It was a lot easier to roast coffee in a popcorn maker. But yeah, it was really fun. And then I like tasted fresh roastly batch. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. I was like, I was like, why do a lot of people not do this? So I don't know. I started to roast my own coffee for a long time, and then I started to give it to my friends, and my friends were like, you should make this a business, and yeah, so that's how it started. I started to make a business, but I also wanted to give it a purpose because I was studying social work at UNT, and we were learning about a bunch of heavy topics, and one of them was human trafficking, and I didn't know that human trafficking even existed because you only hear it in third world countries, or most people would assume that it happens like in third world countries, not in like Texas or here in the United States. So I did more research on that, and I realized that not a lot of people know or are aware that it exists here in the States. So I think that's why I gave it a purpose, and that's why the name is like New Horizon Coffee too, because there's always a second opportunity for everyone. And I think that that's where everything kind of came together.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's it's probably one of the things that I think with the other guests that I bring onto the show, and when people sort of tell me their stories about how they got to where they where they are now, or maybe coming up with certain ideals, it always fascinating to me, like how they connected the dots to get to even with you creating New Horizon Coffee. You're already doing social work, and then combined with your experience with coffee, we tend
Yeah.
to create just crazy solutions. I think just over the course of our life, we come up with weird solutions when we start to connect the dots to different things that we're doing, and so that can be the sort of the fun thing. I think a lot of people don't realize that specifically for my creative community, but a lot of them tend to feel like, well, I'm doing schoolwork and then it's separate from my creative work, and sometimes you can mix both of them together and create
Yeah.
something pretty unique. And yeah, even with human trafficking. I mean, I know I'm originally from Tennessee. I'm now in the San Diego area in
Mhm.
Oceanside, but even down in the San Diego area, it's really prevalent as far as with human trafficking, and we do
Yeah.
have a big issue with that. I really didn't realize it. Coming from the South, I didn't realize how big it was when I got out towards the West Coast. Um,
Yeah.
and I know specifically, I know especially with Texas and being so close to
The
that the
border.
surrounding
Yeah.
area, yeah,
Yeah.
that can be a dangerous situation. Um, so with New Horizon, you were telling me you got the medium roast and the dark roast. Do you have? I know everyone, like a lot of the coffee brands or the ones that I associate with. Everyone has their sort of unique blends, and I know I'm not like the biggest coffee connoisseur. I love coffee, but I'm
Yeah.
not one of those where like I'm just gonna sit there and roast my own coffee or anything. But I
Yeah.
do enjoy. I am getting better tasting the coffee and sort of understanding where it's derived from. What the coffee beans that you're getting? Where is it derived from?
So we mostly get our coffees from Costa Rica or
Okay.
Guatemala. So it's mostly like the Latin countries. And I think to me it feels like they just have like a richer flavor. Especially like the beans that come from like the volcanic area. They
Hmm.
just have like a better taste. So I feel like it's important for our brand to also really sell coffee that's very rich in texture and flavor, and it's like low acidic, so a lot of coffee is like very bitter, and so it's like nice. I don't know, for some reason the Central American coffee is just like more like less acidic to me, and I think it's important for us to sell and roast that type of coffee.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
mostly from Costa Rica. Yeah.
All right. Good deal. Yeah. I know. Yeah. I have had my fair share of Starbucks, and I realized real quick. I was like, I'll taste it now. I was like, wow, this is like the beans are burnt or something. Like it's too.
Yeah, it's bitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Used to, I wouldn't recognize it. I would be like, oh, I'm just drinking a Starbucks. But like now, like I try. Usually, I try to stay local with a lot of stuff, but sometimes I do make that Starbucks run, and every
Yeah.
time I get it, I'm like, oh, I was like, this is like the beans are burned. It's just a different taste altogether. So,
Yeah.
um,
And it makes a difference because like if like bitter acidic coffee can it's like one of the reasons why your stomach hurts, or why you always feel like nauseated afterwards, and that's kind of like one of the reasons why like you have your stomach hurts because it's very acidic.
Yeah, yeah. So right now, I mean, even as far as how do you feel like your efforts are going? You know, even okay, you're building, you know, this coffee brand out, and you know, you're creating awareness for human trafficking. What do you feel like you've made some kind of, you know, created a bigger awareness about it, or bigger impact? I didn't know if there were specific things that you were doing with the coffee.
Yeah, I think we are. Some we try or we think we are. Like some people come up to us and they're like, "Hey, like I didn't know that human trafficking existed," or like they send me towards different people and they're like, "You should meet up with this person. I think you both should talk about this and like do something about it or like this nonprofit too." So we do like a little bit of that. We also try to bring into light other nonprofits too. So we try to make other nonprofits aware and like people donate to those and they also become passionate about it too. So I think we make a difference in that, like where people are becoming a little bit aware about what's going on and how to look for the signs too, like even hotel workers or like, oh, like is this human trafficking or is this just like something sketchy going on? And so it's kind of like nice to have people come to you and be like, oh, like do you think this might be human trafficking? So it's kind of like nice that people keep an eye out for those type of things too and like
Yeah.
message us and they're like, oh, like is this human trafficking or is this just sketchy? So it's kind of nice to like for people to like differentiate like what is and what isn't.
Yeah, yeah,
So
especially now, it could be you just never know now. And it's
yeah,
weird. I mean, I know just being a younger kid, I would have never thought about, you know, just you know walking around. You know, I'm an '80s kid, so you know, like we're roaming around like at nighttime, we don't care. And now you
yeah,
can't even really do that anymore. I mean, you might get snatched up. I mean, unless and I know you know, personally for me, I do a lot of you know, I help train with you know, MMA fighters and I coach wrestling and stuff like that.
yeah,
So like I'm real big on like, hey, you got to learn how to protect yourself because you just sometimes you just never know.
yeah.
And Now it could be just a risky situation.
It
You know,
is.
yeah. So
And I
it's
guess one of the things that people don't know is that sometimes it comes within your own people too. Like it's like your own family members who are grooming you to like sell you and stuff like that, whether it's like labor or emotional. A lot of people don't know that labor trafficking also exists. So being exploited to low wages or like exploiting them in a way where they give you money and then you like are in debt to them. So a lot of people don't know that too.
wow, wow, yeah,
Yeah.
that can be a tough situation. Lot of baggage with that, especially you know when you got family
Yeah.
involved. That's yeah, that could be tough. Yeah, it's have you now? I didn't know if there's been you know situations with even with you or I didn't know if there's been situations maybe a little closer to home as far as what situations like if you have directly like you've been able to help a person that's been caught up in human trafficking or I didn't know how much like how close it sort of hit the you know the home
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. No, not I'm not like super close to it, but I
Yeah,
do like want to make people aware. So I would love to. I think it would be something that I'm willing to do, like if I'm put in the right direction. So I feel like that is something that I would want to work with.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, right now, I mean, like, what things, and I know everyone's different, but you know, for you, what things inspire you right now? What things sort of get you up in the morning? You know, obviously you get up, you get your cup of New Horizon coffee, then you go about your day. You know, what things sort of you know get you you know light your heart up?
Yeah, I like helping people, and I think that's one of the reasons why I went into social work because I really like helping people. And I also like being creative. So it's kind of nice to, I don't know, just get new ideas for things. Like right now, we want to build a brick and mortar. So I think that kind of gets me excited to like wake up to just like the layout of an actual coffee shop and just like laying out like how I want the coffee shop to come. come alive. I think that's exciting.
Yeah.
So also like helping people too. Like it'll be nice to like employ in the future like victims of human trafficking, like give them a job and an opportunity. I think that's exciting too. So just stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea. That'd be something, yeah, definitely needed. And I think underserved. I think, even out here, I help out with a couple organizations. Actually, one organization with the homeless community out here, and
Hmm.
even being able to do something in a capacity that allows them to be able to be employed, or maybe just give them a platform to be able to maybe get themselves on the right track,
Yeah.
or help and sustain them in a productive manner. Um, yeah, I think that's even the idea you would have for employing people that's um, been in human trafficking, and helping them sort of start over.
Yeah.
I think that would be huge, because I mean that there can be they can be some of the invisible people
Yeah.
this community, in in this society. It's ones that they disappear, you never hear about. Those are the ones that definitely need the help. So yeah, that'd be a good idea. And I honestly, I hope you're able to get that launched. That would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, for you right now, I mean, what things, I mean, and honestly, aside from the retail space you would want to have, do you have any other ideals you have sort of brewing right now, as far as like how you want to help promote New Horizon Coffee?
Yeah, I want to be more socially active, like on social media. I feel like promoting is one of my lacks right now, so I'm trying to see how other brands build their own brand too. So I think being more active on social media is like one of the things that I want to do. So that also kind of like motivates me to be a little bit more creative and artistic. So bringing that out, I feel like that's something that I want to do.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, we might be able to connect somehow. We might have to do a little collaboration and go on Instagram Live or something. Who knows?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that'll be fun.
um,
And now TikTok's back, so maybe I can do something with TikTok.
I don't know how long they're gonna be back for. I don't know. It's sort of
That's
it's sort of
true.
shaky with
It was
TikTok.
gone for like a day, but I was like, yeah, I was like, oh no, now that I want to like be more creative, it's leaving. So we'll see.
Good deal. So right now, I mean, creative tips, and this is something I ask all my guests, a creative tip or tips for our audience.
You said, what was that? Sorry.
A creative tip. So what is a creative tip or tips for our audience?
Okay, what does that mean? Sorry.
Just any tip based off of creativity. It could be honestly, it could be geared towards life, relationships. Everything's creativity to me. So just something, maybe some kind of creative hack, something that maybe it help you out. It could be something you've read, you listen to, anything that's helped you out. What's a tip that maybe you can share?
Okay, I guess like seeing other people's videos like on social media, that kind of helps too. I kind of really like the cooking videos or like the people making coffee videos. I really like those. So I kind of want to get into that more creatively, like maybe create recipes too that'll help others. Something that like helps people learn something new because I like learning new things too. So I really find those type of like content pretty nice and inspiring. So maybe I'll do something like that too.
Okay, all right. And then you know honestly, aside from that, just some words of wisdom. What would be some words of wisdom, something that would resonate with people, that maybe they get a hold of you, they see your brand, they discover you on Instagram, or any of the other social media sites, and they listen to this episode. What is some words of wisdom that would resonate with with listeners.
Yeah. I feel like even if you're not ready to start something or if it's not like perfect, you should still go for it. If you have a dream, to just go for it and you'll learn along the way. Because if you wait until things are perfect, you're just gonna like let yourself down. So just start. If you want to start something, just do it and you'll learn along the way because those are like the best life lessons. You'll like even with starting a business, you just learn along the way. Like you never know it exactly. So just do it and just start. Like don't be scared to do it. Just do it.
I like that. That's good. I think sometimes some people, actually a lot of people, we get into the that little zone of procrastination there, and we get a little resistance. We're waiting for the perfect opportunity or perfect
Yeah.
timing, and then it's still January. Then we wake up and it's December, and
Yeah,
we're
for
like we
sure.
got nowhere on our goals or aspirations.
Yeah, because I feel like
Um,
there's really no perfect timing. You just have to do it.
yeah, yep. I wholeheartedly agree with that. That's something. That's some great words of wisdom. That's something I know I keep having to reteach myself is like especially because I'm on the creative side and I'm usually launching a lot of different projects or even doing client work, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's I have to sort of get past that resistance and just put something out there. So I'm getting used to just learning how to just ship it, just create something, put it out there, let's see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. Because even
um
like if you only have one viewer, like one customer, like at least you're starting and like eventually you'll get there like to 1,000 viewers and 1,000 customers. Like I feel like you shouldn't be discouraged by that either
oh yeah,
because it
yep.
takes time. Yeah.
Yep, definitely agree on that. And one last little question, sort of going back, I'm a big sort of sci-fi nerd, and I love different concepts, but and this is something I actually asked one of my other guests recently. If you had to go back, to your younger self,
Mhm.
right now, what would you tell your inner child, your younger self?
That's a good question. That's a deep question. I would tell her that everything will be just fine, that everything works out the way that it's supposed to work out. So I would tell my inner child to just not worry too much and let things work out the way that they're supposed to because they'll be fine eventually.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely find myself learning, especially this year. Told myself I want to just trust more. I'm going to trust. I
Yeah.
don't know. Sometimes I can plan certain things out, and you definitely want to have some kind of destination, but I do want to trust, and
Yeah.
in myself, my abilities, and I think likewise. I think you're doing the same thing, and
Yeah.
I think you're going with things that you're passionate about, and things will work out. It
Yeah.
always works itself out.
They
Um,
will.
so, um, other than that, how can people get in touch with you with New Horizon Coffee? How to partner up with you? Or maybe is there any kind of offers you'd like to talk about? This is your little snippet to
Yeah.
sort of shine and put out anything you want to.
Yeah, so we have an Instagram at New Horizon Coffee, and if they want to reach us, they can just DM us or go ahead into our website and click the contact me button, and we can also reach back to them. And we do have 20% off for coffee if you hit thank you 20 at checkout, so you'll get 20% off of coffee.
Okay,
So
that's
so
great.
yeah, so
Um, and then and I didn't know, I didn't, what was the best way in order to get in contact with New Horizon?
through Instagram, or if you go into our website, www.newhorizoncoffee.com, at the bottom, there's a contact form to contact us through email.
Okay, great, great. Well, hey, once again, this is a awesome episode of the Creative Brew. Thank you to some of my sponsors for this show, Elevate Coffee Trading, that's actually based out of the Dallas, Texas area. They help extract hope with every drop of coffee. My One of my other sponsors out on the West Coast, Baba Coffee, that's based in Carlsbad, California. They've been a great sponsor of mine. Smuggling good vibes, good coffee. They got live music and food every weekend. So if you're in the area, swing by, check them out, help support. Um, and you can reach out to them at babacoffee.com. Um, and then Studio Ace Arts, they're my arts partner. I partner up with them with a lot of different things, but they've got really a big arts community, workshops, classes, events, all kinds of things going on to help from little kids all the way up to adults, sort of find their creative child, and use their little and helping them to express their talents and gifts. So they also just put out a new we got just built up a new gallery. So if people are interested in renting out the space for a gallery, that's available too. So you can reach out to them at Studio Ace Arts, or you can check out even their retail shop. I've got some merchandise in their retail shop, and so you can check out Studio Ace Art Shop that's available on Instagram. So those are my sponsors for this episode. Actually, the first episode of the new year, and we're going along. I think technically I would count this as like season 7 or 8 or something like that. So we're still chugging along. But Rosie, thank you for coming on. You're now part of the Creative Brew tribe, so I
Yes.
will probably bring you back on for another episode, or maybe do some kind of roundtable episode with some other people. And
Yeah.
so I do, accept you as part of the you're part of the tribe now. So
Thank
um,
you.
but thank you once again, Rosie, for coming on. Hey, this is the Creative Brew. Be creative, stay inspired.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem, no problem.